Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Jeff Releford, and I thank you for joining me on the Jeff Releford Show. Because listen, you could have been doing anything else today, right? But you chose on your way home from work, or if you just at home chilling, to tune in to the Jeff Releford Show. Now, real quick, I want to say this to you. Go ahead, tell your friends and family to download the online radio box app to your Android or your Apple device. So that way you can go ahead and listen to us on the go. And what you do is from there, you type in Biggs Radio Chicago. Okay? Biggs Radio Chicago. And also listen to our sister stations in Indianapolis, Indiana, Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia. And once again, you are kicking it with Jeff Releford on the Jeff Releford Show on Biggs Radio Chicago, the voice of a new generation. Let's go. Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, aka Jeff Releford on the Jeff Releford Show. How is everybody doing on this Monday? I'll wait. It's all right. I got to read comments for that. But yes, I thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the Jeff Releford Show. And like I said, man, how's everybody doing, man? You know, my Monday has been great so far. I'm up here in the studio with my people. Shout out to Mary, Selena K, and Ron Reed of the VNO. And I'm also going to shout out Miss Dinah Lynn Biggs because we are tuning in live, okay, through Biggs Radio Chicago, voice of a new generation. And as the intro says, also check out our sister stations, Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia, Indianapolis, and also, like I said, Chicago, Illinois, everybody. So yes, I thank you for tuning in. And also the team, also people, we have Julian St. Chris, who is the executive producer, and everybody who just works to make sure my show is at tip-top shape. And also to make sure that just as a whole, we working it and we moving. So I appreciate everybody. So let's see. I see that we got some people listening. Okay, there it is. We got some people listening. I see what's going on. Shout out to Ron Reed, who's sending a like. Shout out to Nikisha Spiller. Hey, y'all. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, my man, Isaac Hayes in the house. I feel you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you all for tuning to the Jeff Releford Show. Now, all right, look here, people. We are only 3 minutes into the game. I would love to wait to talk about this a little bit later after I give some dialogue and everything. But y'all, I really just want to dive right into this conversation. So what we're going to talk about today is people. Now listen, I get it. This might be a little touchy for some of y'all. And you know, half past the hour, what we'll do is we'll actually open it up so we could go ahead and receive some calls on this. But for now, I'm going to throw this up on the screen and I'll read it for my people here, okay? So here we go. Do you believe in a higher power? And if so, how do you use your belief system to stay grounded? Okay. So do you believe in a higher power? And if so, how do you use your belief system to stay grounded? Okay. Now, I want to tell y'all this. Now, I personally, okay, believe in a higher power. My higher power is God. Okay. And I believe God, like it says in the Bible, created the whole universe, created the world, all this other stuff like that. Now, you can also take it from another direction as God being a force, God being energy. You know what I mean? Because if God created everything, this means he created energy as well, force as well. And I tend to also believe that this is a driving and moving force. How do all the seasons come into play? Right? How does everything work in our bodies perfectly to a T? And if something was off just a little bit, it can change your DNA, the molecular structure in your body, the whole nine. It's like if one chromosome is off in your DNA, you can end up with some type of disease, or you can end up with some type of birth defect. So for me, that can't be nothing but God. I'm just saying, people, for Jeff Releford, that can't be nothing but God. So, you know, and it keeps me grounded because what God allows me to do is it brings things to my remembrance. Okay. And I know what the Bible says about scripture. It's not about just bringing certain scriptures back to my remembrance. What it's actually about is it's about me remembering things that allow me to stay humble. Okay. I want to let y'all know that sometimes we need a belief system in order to stay humble in our lives. Okay. And I don't care what you believe in, because I don't discriminate on what everybody else is going to believe in, the direction you want to go in, the whole nine. But for me, I choose God. And I also know that with a lot of different belief systems, and when you study them quite closely, you tend to see how similar they are with each other. So even if you don't believe, this is what I believe, even if you don't believe in the Bible per se, the story had to take place in some way, shape, or form. What we have is a book that happens to be consolidated into that one story. And we also know that there are other books that were also written and that were canonized and all those other things and such of that nature. So, you know, it's a lot to look at. It's a lot to unpack here, you know. So like I said, there are more reasons and more ways that I also stay grounded as well. You know what I mean? It just all depends on what we're looking at, how we're moving, and there are certain things that you have to recognize. You know what I mean? So I just want y'all to just take a look and see, analyze some things. What do you believe in? What do you believe in? What is it that you are willing to really look at in terms of your belief system in order to keep you going? How many of us ask ourselves that question? What do we believe in and why do we believe in it? Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know where that came from, but I guess it was a movement and a gesture. For my people that are listening online, okay, for my people that are listening through the station here, I had some fireworks come up. I don't know where these fireworks came from for the stream, but the stream is quite amazing, people. I'm telling you, y'all have to catch me on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and what's the other one? Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Those are the three that I stream on. But I'm coming off my personal page on Facebook. Okay, more fireworks. I do not understand what's going on. It is a weird day, people. It's a weird day, but it's all right. But back to the subject at hand. What is going on? But back to the subject at hand. Once again, everybody, we are paying attention and we are talking about, do you believe in a higher power? And how does that higher power keep you grounded? Like I said one of the things with me is different things just being brought back to my remembrance so I can stay and remain humble. And a big thing for me is faith. Now, I don't care what belief system you have. I feel that everybody has some way that they deal with faith. You know what I mean? And I know what it says biblically about faith. It says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So once again, that's what I believe. I tend to live my life not walking by what I see, but looking at those things that are hoped for. Because I feel that God will grant those wishes with the things that you have hoped for. But you also have to remain humble because things can shift also. A lot of times, okay, let me break it down like this. A lot of times people, what we do is we can want something so bad. We can want something out of life so bad. How do you react? Okay, hear me. How do you react if life doesn't go the way that you want it to go? Prime example. I have a real good example for today, actually. Today, my car went on some craziness. My engine is hesitating, the whole nine. I'm gonna have to take that bad boy in tomorrow and get it fixed. I'm gonna have to see what's going on with it. I have one of two choices. One of two choices. I can either let it affect me in a bad way, or what I could do is I could go ahead and just be more solution based and find a way to be peaceful in it. Now, I get it, people. I know what I'm saying. I know I'm saying something that could be a little hard right now. I know I'm saying something that could be a little tough for you to kind of bring in, right? Bring into your mental. So, how do you find peace? How do you look within yourself to say, I am going to be okay? Now, this is just me, but I'm gonna lay it out there. I do it by way of looking within and just having acceptance. Because you have to accept the things that you cannot change. You have to be able to accept the things that that you know might irk you or might bother you to some capacity. And peace is also a choice as well, people. Peace is a choice. I find it very interesting how a lot of us in many different ways do not choose peace. We actually coming from a generation. Oh my gosh, I don't know if y'all be paying attention, but we really live in a generation that is choosing a lot of violence over peace. And that's something I've been really looking at lately. I'm just like, wow, is it that people do not have a belief system? Is it that people just are looking so much at things that are negative around them that that's what they choose to accept? That's what they accept as their lifestyle. And it's very interesting because we were having a great conversation about faith, choices, the way that people tend to go. And one of the things we talked about was being a slave to your mind. Okay. Now I get it. Some of y'all probably not know what that means, being a slave to your mind. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Hold on. We have a comment. Mary Selena K says, "Are you okay?" In hold on, let me see. Oh, in agreement with God's no. You know, I like that. I do. I like that a lot. There it is. Boom. I put it up on the screen so y'all can see that. There it is. She fixed the typo. But are you in agreement with the no? Are you okay with the no? See, this is what I said earlier about that adapting. A lot of times you have to accept the things that you cannot change at all. Sometimes life is just going to be life. Sometimes, like for instance, I wanted to have different things with my show and my podcast. But what happened was I had to be able to be okay with something not going my way, whether it be the show or my podcast. Y'all know I've actually revamped my podcast 3 times. Now, this is going to be the last time I do it, but I've actually revamped the podcast 3 times because I had to pay attention to some things. You know, when you're in the entertainment and you're doing radio and we hook up everything for our visuals here. See, we cater to a specific audience, and you have to pay attention to what your audience is going to pay attention to. You know, what is going to keep their attention? What are they going to hold on to at the end, right? So there are a lot of times when I looked at my numbers and my numbers were low, people. Did it bother me? Yes, it bothered me. But what did I do? I went back in the think tank. And when I went into the think tank, I said, what can I do to enhance this and make it better? Right? What can I do to enhance my own life to make it better with everything that I've been given? That's the key. Because with my belief system, I feel that God will give me the things to work with that are right in front of me. And you have to, it's my choice. Now, I'm not going to say you, but it's, well, I guess I can say you. It is your choice to accept it. It is your choice to find the good in the things that are around you. For my earlier listeners of anything that I've done, y'all would know that I would sit at home. Well, maybe y'all didn't know I was at home, but I was at home before we started coming to the Vibe Studio. Shout out to the Vibe Studio real quick. I got to say that real fast. Shout out to the Vibe Studios. It is myself, Mr. VNO, Ron Reed, Mary Selena K, and our homeboy, who is Smooch Wallace? We ask this question all the time. Who is Smooch Wallace? Y'all find out because y'all want to know. Anyway, back to this though. I was at home before. And when I was at home, what was happening? I knew that I wanted to be in a place, right, But what I had to do is I had to keep working at it. And actually, both me and my cousin we had a place out in Crown Point, Indiana. We come out of Indiana. And when we were there, just it was a fit, but it wasn't the best fit. But now look what happened. We linked up with two people who actually share the same goals and vision. That's a big thing, people. Vision. And I'm going to tie this into the belief system, okay? But just hear the story. We all share the same vision under one roof and under one umbrella, which is the Vibe Studios that you see here. I wish I could flip the camera around so y'all can see. We actually have another space on the other side, and we actually have another room that we will be utilizing as well. So what did I tell y'all to do? I said I operate in faith, and I have to move with things that I can adapt to, but I have to be open to that adaptability, and I have to be open to that change. If I wasn't, my butt would still be sitting at home shooting my podcast and doing the radio. But look what happened. You have to trust the process a lot of times. And a lot of times we want to always look at what we see in front of us. Like I said before, and I know I've said this on the show a couple times, like you could be like Peter. And for some of y'all don't know about this story in the Bible, they were going somewhere. They were on a boat or whatnot, but there was a storm raging, and it woke everybody up on the boat. Peter was sitting up here looking, and we were like, Jesus, what we gonna do? In so many words, Jesus, what we gonna do? It's a storm. Oh, we gonna die so much. Christ said, just look at me. So we have to remember, man, God is peace. God is peace. If you keep your mind stayed on peace, you will find peace. You won't have to go searching far and wide. You won't have to put it in drugs. You won't have to put it in sex. You won't have to put it in anything that can be a device that you could become addicted to. And because you could become codependent on other things other than peace, right? So whatever your belief system is, make sure you center that around peace. That has to, for me, people, that has to be number one. Because if I can't do that, oh, please believe, man, my mind would have been gone a long time ago. It's kind of like the old people say when they say, I would have lost my mind. I just would have lost my mind. That's what they say. Now, I'm Black and I grew up Baptist, okay? So this is what they said, Baptist, some Pentecostal, some Kojic, you know what I mean, Apostolic, all the rest of them, because I don't care what nobody say, different denominations, but we all reading out the same book. We all reading out the same book. We all reading out the same book. But that's what the old folk used to say. So a lot of times, people, what you have to do is you have to stay fixated on something in order to gain a result. But you also have to be disciplined as well. If you are not disciplined in all your ways and your doings, it's very hard to receive increase if you don't want to work at it, right? It's like, for instance, in order for anything to happen with me, I just can't sit. Like, for instance, I can easily sit back in my chair and just wait for everything to come to me, right? But let's be realistic. If you sit and wait, you might get a couple things coming your way. You might get a couple things in there. You might even catch something. You might look up and be able to grab that. But you sitting back just waiting, looking around. Okay, that looks good. But something didn't pass you by. A lot of times, people, you have to go out and get what you want. You have to go out and get what you want. And you have to be disciplined with it. If your mind is going in 20,000 different directions, you will receive 20,000 different things. Point blank. But if you're not willing to be flexible and able to find a niche, so to speak, to narrow down and to stay on that path, I guarantee you will find peace in that. Now, this can be within purpose. This can be within purpose, your job, marriage, relationships, friendships. This can be in anything. You have to find some type of common ground, and you have to find peace within that. Nobody wants to have conflict with anybody, right? For the most part, when we have our friendships, when we have our families, what do we all say? We all say we want peace, right? We all say we don't want no drama. We say we don't want to start nothing with nobody. A good saying is we always say, if you don't start none, it won't be none, right? If we're willing to have that mentality with dealing with people, why can't we go ahead and just have that for ourselves? If you don't start none within, it won't be none within. I'm just saying. Now, this could be conflict or peace. If you don't start looking for no peace, there'll be no peace within. If you start to bring up negativity within, there will be negativity within. Now, mind you, people, everything that I'm saying today in terms of belief system and staying grounded, please know that all of this takes work. This does not happen overnight. I have been at this since I've been at this since I was 19 years old. Been life coaching since 2019, but been really at my whole faith walk and believing in God since I was 19 years old, questioning things, looking up things, researching different elements and all these things that make up who I am and the world that is around me. And it's very interesting because once you do these things and apply certain principles to your life, you have to believe it. You have to believe it. And that's another thing. When you have a belief system, when you look down right here, when you look right here down below, and it says, do you believe? Keyword, do you believe? If you believe in something, that means you have to know it to be true. I find it very interesting that with the people that I talk to, some of the conversations that I have, there are a lot of people who are talking, but they really don't believe. And I'll tell you the differentiation in that. And I'm just not talking about God. God is my thing. I don't know what you have on the other end, but God is my thing. So what I mean by is you have to believe it is that you have to be willing to test. If you are not willing to test or question your own belief system, you are not putting in work. We had a great conversation. Sitting up here, I was talking to Mary earlier, and we were talking about going to the gym. And Mary uses this analogy all the time, going to the gym, putting in work. That's what you have to do. It is a process when you start going through these hills and valleys, because you will have low points in your life where you will be tested. And I don't care if you believe in whatever. Faith is an overall thing that we all have to have. I don't care if you call it confidence. I don't care if you call it just have another name for it. I don't care what you call it. At the end of the day, you have to have some type of faith in something to get you somewhere. And all I mean is if it's going to get you somewhere, it could be to get you to the job every day. In the car. Once again, I'm using that analogy, the car. We love to say this. We have faith that the car is going to run every day, right? Which is very true. We do. We have faith that this car is going to get us from point A to point B with no issues. But what are you going to do once the car breaks down? Are you going to take something into account? Are you going to be mad, angry, upset? How are you going to move in that? You have to be able to be flexible in your ways and in your dealings. And all I say is, for me and my belief system, that's being flexible with God. Like what we were talking about earlier, what Mary commented on. You have to be okay with the no. You have to be okay with the no. If you are not okay with the no, oh my gosh, then what are you going to do when the yes happens? What are you going to do when yes comes into your life? Because a lot of times you have to go through a lot of no's before you get to that yes. And one thing that I know about God is that a lot of times God wants to see how you're going to deal with the no first. He wants to know if you are able to handle the rejection first. And then he will go ahead and pop something right into your life that could be a blessing. But you also have to be able to figure that out too. You have to be able to see that. That's what walking by faith and not by sight is. You walk by faith and not by sight. You have to be able to recognize when things are just popping up in your life that you can take advantage of. Okay, let me point right to the camera. You can take advantage of. Nobody else. Nobody else now. Because in this life, whatever you believe in, the universal standard of life is what is for you is for you. Whatever opportunities you come against and that are put right in front of you are for you. Now, they could have went to the next person, but they did not go to the next person. They came to you. So what are you going to do when opportunity knocks right at the door? Are you just going to sit there and say, oh, I'm not ready? Or are you going to sit there and say, oh, I'm waiting on God? Oh, I'm waiting till the whatever I believe in grants me this when it's already right in front of you? Come on now. And I know, and we know that everybody has this capability. Okay. Just because I'm speaking on these different things that you can use within your own belief system, that doesn't mean that you do not have access to it. Prime example in the Bible, it says, now listen, now when I start talking about the Bible, people, you don't have to believe what I believe in, but there's a principle behind it. That's the thing. With any belief system, there are principles that come along with it. And in order for you to grow, you have to understand the principles. And once you understand the principle, you have to be willing to apply the principle. And that is where a lot of us fall short at. Even myself at times, I'm guilty of that. A lot of times I look at what I see and I'm not following the principle until I have somebody in my life who comes along and challenges me, such as a Mary or a Ron or a Smooch or maybe my wife or a cousin or anybody else who I know will challenge that. And then I have to do some inner work that goes along with that. Just because you have favor, people, just because things come up good in your life doesn't mean that you don't have to do inner work to show gratitude and to show what am I trying to say? To show gratitude towards it and to show that you are grateful for what has come into your life. Because you can mess up something real good by arrogance. You can mess up something real good by arrogance, people. And I'm telling you, arrogance will set you up for failure. Foolishness will set you up for failure. I'm telling you, one day I want to do a whole show about just about biblical principles. I don't know if y'all gonna be ready for that. I might say that for the podcast because me and Mary can. Yeah, I think I might say that for the podcast because me and Mary can really dive into something like that. You know what I mean? We could really take it to a different level, into a different place. So I think that would be dope for us to really do. So I'll save it for that. So y'all tune in on Wednesday. I don't know which Wednesday it's gonna be, but the podcast is from 5 to 6 p.m. Redirect, Recruit, Refocus podcast. You can find it on YouTube, LinkedIn, on Jeff Releford page, and also the Redirect, Recruit, Refocus page on Facebook and my personal page, and the Redirect, Recruit, Refocus page on YouTube. Y'all can find it right there. Just try to let y'all know. Shameless plug because it's my show. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. You know what, y'all? It's getting to half past the hour. Okay. So what I am going to do is, it is that time, people. It is that time to open up the phone lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that number down there on the bottom of the screen, and y'all can call a brother. And talk to me. Let me know if you have a belief system. I don't care what you believe in. I've sat up here and talked to some of my Indian people, and they believe in all type of stuff. But the fact of the matter is, remember, like I said, it's principle behind it. If you are able to line up the principles, and this is how God works. Let me tell y'all how God works in the whole belief system category. Even an atheist has to believe in his unbelief. I want y'all to think about that for a minute. See, this is what I love. See, real talk, life coach Jeff Releford, I love talking about stuff like this. I can talk about stuff like this all day, because a lot of this stuff, it helps me keep grounded. It makes me it challenges my mind. But even an atheist has to believe in their unbelief in something that they haven't seen before. I find that to be so wild and baffling because, Oh, you want to get on? You want to say something on it? Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to open up this mic real quick. Now, if we get a call, it's okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on this mic. I'm going to turn this up. Which one is that? 1, 2. That's number 3. Okay. Okay, man, go ahead. Say something real quick.
Granddad King, thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
I was sitting right next to you, so I didn't want to call, but I'm like, yo, the mic is sitting right here. So I might as well just kind of like grow for it. But I love that point that you made. Not only do they believe in their unbelief, they have just psyched themselves out believing that they don't believe in God because they believe in the air that they breathe.
Yes.
They believe that if they breathe in, they will inhale air. Yep. And they believe that if they blow out, they will exhale air. That's God.
Facts.
That's God. So what we find is that people are lying to themselves. And they're lying to themselves and they really believe their lie. But the truth of the matter is you can't even truly lie to you. This is how crazy the development of their own religion, like we were talking about earlier. You may not have put a name to it. You may have said, okay, well, I'll just grow with the category of atheism, but truth of the matter is that you're just lying to yourself. It's part of just the world's culture. It's part of the deaf culture because God's culture is truth. And so you've decided that you want to agree with the lies that you tell, not even what's being told to you, but the lies that you tell, even though you do believe in the system of breathing. Simple breathing.
Facts.
Is God itself. And so when I posted or posed the question, are you in agreement with God's no?
Yeah.
That's the problem we have. You do not agree with him. This is why you aren't growing anywhere. Even if you are walking in place, you still have no mobility.
Facts.
You're still technically paralyzed. It's better if you were just walking in opposition, if you were just walking in the other direction. But the truth of the matter is you still can't go in the other direction. You can only stand right where you are, using and exerting all of the energy that you've been given by who? God. Right? So you just choose not to recognize him. You choose to recognize yourself as being when the truth of the matter is you're not.
Yeah,
you're really not.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of people who don't agree with God and they're upset with him because they wanted things to grow a particular way. And God said no, not people. God said no. Now what you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to continue to behave like a child. You're going to continue to react like a child and throw a tantrum. You're going to continue to behave and act like a child, react like a child by attempting to damage his reputation because you can't damage anything else. You damage property, this and that. He don't care. It belongs to him anyway. And it ain't like it's not anything that he can't create over. Right? But you are making an attempt to damage his reputation. And you still can't do that because he speaks for himself. His word is his word. His track record is just that. And you can't destroy that. So what you end up doing is simply destroying yourself prior to him just saying, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and just recall you because what you ain't going to do is make me look bad.
Facts,
you're not gonna provide me with the unfavorable report. But I know for a fact that we have people who continue to lie to themselves. They believe that they can actually believe their own lies. They'll continue to walk in it, but by saying that, hey, I'm atheist and I'm gonna, not be in recognition or acknowledgement of God yet.
Yeah,
you do acknowledge breathing. I'm just saying, like, you got to look at the mindset of the person. That is a sick individual. That's a insane person.
I feel you.
Thank you, King.
Oh, yeah, no problem, girl. And that is Mary Selena K, everybody. Y'all will also see her on Wednesday. But she makes great points. Great points. And I feel what you're saying. And once again, I feel what Mary is saying because that is my belief system. We respect y'all for what y'all believe too. But once again, we are speaking on behalf of our belief system. We're not sitting up here trying to start a war, a riot, or anything like that. This is the Jeff Releford Show. So this is what we talking about. This is the conversation for the day, people. That's what we on. But you know what? I want to say this too. I actually had a conversation with an atheist. I used to work with one, and he was a cool dude, real cool dude. You know, he used to he used to look at me funny when I say "bless you" when he would sneeze, and then he'd be like, "What you mean, man?" I'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, dog," because you forget, because that's something we do, and that's pretty common. Even with somebody who doesn't believe, they'll still say "bless you" a lot of times. You know what I mean? So it's just very common when somebody sneezes for you to say that. But it was very interesting. We took a trip to Michigan City. I used to work on smokestacks. Everybody, smokestacks. I used to do emissions and EPA. Look at the EPA numbers, and we used to send them into the federal government so that we could make sure that NIPSCO was up to date with all of their regulations as far as clean air is concerned. So those smokestacks that you see, I know for my people in the rural areas, they're usually down there, but we got a few of them up here. Like it's one in Michigan City, in the rural area. There used to be one in Portage at the Bailey plant. They shut that down. But long story short, we were driving home, and we took the truck from one plant to another. So I was driving with him. We were driving back so we can go home. And we were having a great talk about this very same thing, about faith and everything. And I didn't mind talking to him about it. I said, "Hey, man, we could have a talk about it." And he started breaking some things down. And as we were driving, he literally said to me, he was like, "Whoa, Jeff, what did you just do?" Because he found himself agreeing with me about the very same notion that we were talking about, faith and God. He was so dumbfounded by it that he told me to stop talking. This man thought I did some voodoo magic. I said, "Brother, all we were doing was just literally holding a conversation. That's all we were doing." So I find it to be very interesting how when we talk about these things, when we talk about faith, when we talk about God, when we talk about energy, a lot of times, just in how we were created, we were designed, I believe, to have a mindset that is already in us to think about those things and have those wills and desires that are of God. A lot of times, the difference is that a lot of us just haven't tapped into it yet. So when we do have those conversations, it will come out. It will come out. Whether you call God a power or energy or being, it all depends. The being within Jesus, you know what I mean? I'm not going to get deeper into that because I'm just trying to stay on with the subject. But however you look at it, I feel that we still will all meet in the center. And that is through our dialogue and our own inner beliefs that we have, whether it be moralistically about character, you know what I mean? Whether it is about just the world and life and how we view it, we all meet in the center in some type of way. And I encourage you, if you're watching, please give us a call at 219-779-8039. Once again, 219-779-8039. We would love to hear. I would love to hear from you. And I would love to know if you have a particular belief system. What is it? And how does it keep you grounded? Excuse me. Like I said, the whole thing for me is peace. That's what it is. The whole thing for me, people, is peace. So if you end up having some type of peace with everything, I feel it will work out for you. But hey, man, the opposite of peace is chaos, confusion. So I don't know what y'all do, but I know what I do. And I'm not trying to say that one way is better than the other, because that would mean that I'm pushing my belief down your throat. I don't want to push a belief down your throat. I just want to open up a conversation to see, to see if there's anything that we can have common ground in. Because I believe the common ground will be there anyway. I strongly believe that common ground will always be there. It doesn't matter what you believe in. I believe that common ground will always be there. But the problem is like I said earlier, we just don't have that dialogue. We don't have those talks to really drive it home, to really see how your life is lived and how my life is lived, and how the two can actually commingle with each other. Because they can commingle. They really can commingle. It's just up to us to have the conversation and dialogue about it. But I get it. A lot of times, when it comes to your own belief system, some people think it's a bad thing to question what they believe. I don't believe it's a bad thing. How else are you going to learn, and how else are you going to grow from that? You have to be able to grow from it. If you can't grow from what it is that you believe in, then I would say you need to question what you believe in then, because that's the only way you're going to maximize the potential to find peace. You can maximize your potential to find peace by asking questions. I don't care if you have to go to a pastor. I don't care if you have to go to some type of guru or somebody who specializes in meditation or anything like that. You know what I mean? I always tell people, find something. You don't have to believe in what I believe in, but find something, at least something, that will bring you some type of peace. That's my gist of it. That's my gist. That's how I see it. That's how I feel that these things should fall into place with everybody, because we're all different. We are all different. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the bottom of the screen again. Once again, just to let you all know, you're listening to the Jeff Releford Show. I thank you for listening. And what we are talking about today is, do you believe in a higher power? And if so, how do you use that higher power or your belief system to stay grounded? That's what we're talking about today, people. And what really brought this conversation on, let me tell you all what really brought this conversation on for today. What really brought this certain in particular conversation on was, I was at work and I was talking to one of my guys I work with. He happens to be an electrician. When I was talking to him, he came by because something was down. And we had a great conversation about how you attain peace and where you get it from. And I said, you know what, man? I said, I ended up losing my peace. And I told him I took my eyes off of God. I took my eyes off of peace. And because I was looking at it and I was like, man, there's some chaos going on. No lie, people. It's some chaos. And a lot of times what we have to do is we have to accept the chaos that goes on in our lives. And I understand, people, it's hard, yo. Life is hard. And you have to, in order to understand that life is hard, you have to be able to admit that life is hard. So what have you done there? You have accepted something about life. So now you take it to another level and a next step, right? You move on to the next step. And then now, since you've admitted that life is hard, now you have to look at how you're going to react to life's challenges. You only have two ways you can go, people. You literally only have two ways that you can go with this. You can either go positively or negatively. That's it. That if you're indecisive, this is what I've learned. If you stay in between, you'll never be able to make a decision. You'll never be able to make a decision. If you continue to stay in the middle of what you believe, it will be very hard for you to make a decision later on. So that's why I say these things. Because we have to stay grounded in some type of way. And there's nothing, I'm telling you, there's nothing better than staying grounded in peace. There's no other feeling like it. There's no other feeling like it. To know that you don't need a person to make you feel whole, because you're able to believe in something that you feel makes you whole. Oh, my people, that is a whole different feeling. And my hope and prayer is that each and every one of you all who is listening will find some peace in some type of way. Like the intro says, you could be driving home from work, man. You could be driving home from work. You can be doing anything, I say you chose to be here with me, but let me challenge you today. Fix your mind to find some peace. Look at those avenues that you might be struggling in, because we all struggle in something. We all struggle in something. And take today and say, I want to grab life by the horns, but I don't want to be a slave to my mind. I don't want to react to the things that people say to me. I want to respond, because I feel that we all should be able to give a response to something that has been given to us. But choose to make that response one of positivity. Choose to make that response one that is not going to send you in a direction of chaos or cause confusion. That's all I'm asking. Do a deep dive, people. I'm not saying you have to break yourself down. You have to overanalyze yourself here. I'm not saying that. Just take some time. Simply take some time. It could take 1 minute. It could take 10 minutes. I'm not saying take the whole day and drive yourself crazy, but just ask yourself a couple questions. See where you're at in life. And remember, whatever you believe in, it is okay to challenge it. Okay? It is okay to challenge it. It is okay to ask questions. And once you challenge it and you ask questions, it is up to you and only you to figure out what direction you want to go in from that. Telling you, man, I love this stuff. I love this stuff personally. I love it personally because self-development is very key and very critical in everyone's life. Everyone's life. This is why, once again, people, and I got to do a shout out. This is why we are doing Motivational Mondays. I am on from 5 to 6 p.m. every Monday. And then Julian St. Chris comes on me with the Monday mixtape from 6 to 8. And then Donalyn Biggs is coming on with the Donalyn Biggs Show from 8 to 10. So, people, let me tell you, we have you from the moment you get off from work and then rest your head. We got you. Oh, snap. Okay, we have a call. Let me see if this is Carl calling. Let me see what's going on. Let me see. All right. Hold on, Carl. You are actually about to be on the show right now. Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, brother, I can hear you. I'm sorry, Jeff. I forgot we was on the show. I'm coming in from work. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. But you know what? While you're in real quick, I want to ask you this question because we're getting ready to be done in about 10 minutes here. And I want to ask you a question since you just happen to be on. You mind real quick, brother?
Let's talk. Let's talk, brother.
Okay. Now, I want to know, do you have a belief system? And if so, how do you use your belief system to keep you grounded, sir?
Jeff, that is a very, very layered and an excellent question. I'm going to start by saying I was raised in the Baptist church.
Okay.
But as I did my own research and things like, I'm still a Christian. Yeah, I believe in the higher power of God. But I just don't believe in some of the beliefs of Christians with the bad diet and the nutrition and the backbiting and the other things like that, Jeff. So my approach, I stay grounded through gardening, earth, Mother Nature, sun and steam room, and deep meditation. That's how I stay grounded. Yes, I believe in Jesus and the higher power. Yes, I believe in God. But he would not be happy of how we are displaying him. I don't think he would. My opinion is God would not be happy with how we live and how we displaying things. Nobody's perfect, right, Jeff?
Facts.
But he knows our heart.
True.
He knows and he orders our steps. And you just gotta live. You gotta live. Let him live through you for you. If that makes sense.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So that's my kind of belief system. No, I don't go to church every Sunday, but I know who leads and guides my every step. And he woke me up this morning. I already know that. But it's about relationship, not religion. And a lot of people forget.
Yeah.
Religion is $1 billion industry with nonprofits and a tax exempt. Now I'm talking on the business side.
Okay.
And they have a category called charitable giving. And I don't know the exact number, but I can get it next show. I mean, kind of tax exempt. The money.
Yeah.
The money amount in tax exempt that churches get a year is astounding. So as far as my belief system, that's how I believe. And I also believe in what goes into my body, just as well as mind, body, and spirit.
Okay.
Father,
Definitely.
Son, and Holy Ghost.
Hey, man. I can't argue with that, big dog. I appreciate that one, man.
And Jeff, I would love for you real quick. I know you got to go.
Yeah.
We having an event. I'm going to send it to your Facebook page, man.
Okay.
Green Party Social. It's an expo and conscious market. The conscious market is the part you enjoy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You already know, man. You already know. So, yeah, definitely send it to me, man. And we'll get it circulated around, and you'll definitely see me there, man. If I don't have anything else on the agenda, you already know I'll be there, man.
Hey, Jeff, I appreciate the time, man, and congratulations on everything. And thank you for doing what you do for our people in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, big dog. And hey, man, I just appreciate you accidentally forgetting I was on the show and then being on the show, man. I thank you for the dialogue, big man.
Everything happened for a reason, don't it, Jeff?
Brother, you already know. It's in the divine will, isn't it, brother?
Man, I like that.
There it is. So, all right, my man, I appreciate you, dog, and shoot me over that flyer. And thanks, man, for calling in.
I'm going to shoot you over the flyer. And this, I don't know if you know, this Saturday at Brothers Keeper, since you're on the board, we always feed 100 people every third Saturday of the month. So just let them know we'll be there to feed 100 families.
Okay, got you. Will do, man. And they can hear it right now because this is streaming live. And they hear it on the radio too, big dog. So we spreading the word.
I appreciate that. This Saturday, March 23rd, from 9 until 1 p.m., we will be at Brothers Keeper. We will be serving 100 meals at about 12:30 or 1 o'clock.
Okay. There it is. Yes, I will be there, big dog.
Sounds like a plan, brother.
All right, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you, dog, and I'll holler at you, okay?
All right, Jeff.
All right. Bye.
Peace.
All right, everybody. That was Mr. Carl Weatherspoon, man. Give a good shout out to him, man. That brother right there, I've been knowing him for a little bit of time here. And everything he was saying, that is what that man believes. Honestly, everything that man was saying, that is what he believes. So, hey, man, I think we should wrap it up right here, honestly. Just always remember, people, listen, whatever you believe in, whatever system that you have in belief, just start to question it. And with everything, find peace within it. If you are not finding peace with what you believe in, that ain't the right system for you. So, all right, y'all, it's your boy, Jeff Releford, and I thank you all for tuning in to the Jeff Releford Show. And remember, redirect, regroup, refocus. I love y'all. And we are going to leave the same way we came in, everybody. Peace out. Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Jeff Releford, and I thank you for joining me on the Jeff Releford Show. Because listen, you could have been doing anything else today, right? But you chose on your way home from work, or if you just at home chilling, to tune in to the Jeff Releford Show. Now, real quick, I want to say this to you. Go ahead, tell your friends and family to download the online radio box app to your Android or your Apple device. So that way you can go ahead and listen to us on the go. And what you do is from there, you type in Biggs Radio Chicago. Okay? Biggs Radio Chicago. And also listen to our sister stations in Indianapolis, Indiana, Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia. And once again, you are kicking it with Jeff Releford on the Jeff Releford Show on Biggs Radio Chicago, the voice of a new generation. Let's go.